Neither of us are very. I had a beer.
Holy shit, boys and girls. Look at how we're starting today. I sound like I'm on a little cocana, but I'm not. I am so excited because it is 420 and it's a holidays, if you will. And look who I got. It's the Stepdads. I don't know how to address you separately because I just know you as the Stepdad. So we'll keep it there. We'll dive into who you are, what you've done, where you come from, how you got together. We'll talk wrestling. I don't think we'll talk too much 420 today because this is all about the Stepdads. This is Stirring the Pot with Don Kincaid and my very special guests, the Stepdads. What's up, guys? What's going on, man?
We're stirring that pot.
Yeah, there you go. We're cooking something.
Around here, we like to stir the pot. We poke the bears. But see, you guys are on the fun.
Just you.
You guys are on the fun side of the whole fan experience. We love to cheer you. You love to have fun with us. So we won't be poking too many bears today. We'll probably just stir a couple pots. And it is 420, so you never know where this is going to go. But what we like to do here is we talk character. We talk where you come from, where you reside, if there's a home base or such, how the Stepdads became. We talk a little wrestling, maybe a road story or two because you're the Stepdads. There's got to be a cool road story down the works here.
We've got a.
Oh, yeah.
So right after, I got a busy evening. Right after this, I've got a little fire starting out in the back because I'm getting visited by Moonshine McCready himself. He will be here at my place in the flesh because we know he drinks a lot. We know he's not that bright. He can't use a computer that much. Yeah. So he's going to come over face to face. I am very looking forward to that. So let's get this shindig out of the way because the Stepdads collectively are off the charts. Your characters, larger than life, all sorts of flashy. You use your words eloquently. We have a lot of fun. We even do a little dancing. I don't dance because I'm whiter than white. Maybe you guys can handle it. I can't do it at all. All about the Mr. Trayvon. Mr. Trayvon from Waves and Curls, he calls me 2%, like watered down white. Ooh, that's a good one, man. I love that saying. I'm going to keep that forever and ever. I'm out of breath. I feel like I'm doing cocaine. Holy shit.
You look like how I feel after I danced a bunch, let me tell you.
Well, I'm just excited. This is a very big day today. I've got the Stepdads. We had to reschedule. That's okay. Life happens. I've got Moonshine McCready. I've got a question mark at 9 o'clock. I don't know what the hell is going to happen on that time. So the Stepdads, let's dive into that because you guys come together as a tag team. My very first question for you guys, because I'm very, very curious ever since you signed on to do Little Stirring the Pot. Did you guys start as singles wrestlers and became a tag team? Or did you kind of find each other maybe during training in the same school, the same environment, and you were like, you know what? I think we could have some fun as a tag team. Take us on a little journey if you were singles or if you started as the Stepdads.
I'll give the short answer. The short answer is I was a singles guy for about 8 to 10 months before teaming with Wade here.
And you were in another tag team.
And I was actually in another tag team for a couple of months, but it wasn't as silly as this one is, you know. But
the long answer would be, I mean, we both started as singles guys in pro, but we've known each other for years because we used to backyard wrestle together.
Mm-hmm.
So forming a tag team together just seemed to make sense. We had the idea. We wanted to give it a shot. We went out and kind of workshopped it at different places, and it worked, so we stuck with it.
Mm-hmm.
And we liked it better than what we were doing before. So
yeah, we were much more serious before, if you can believe that. Yes, much more serious.
I find that very hard to believe. First off, second off, we're going to dive into that because I like to feel the oats of the men and women that we get to talk to because the fans that don't know you, we're introducing you the very first time. But the fans that do know you, they're like, wait a minute, they weren't always so fun and jovial. I want to hear that story too. But now coming together as a tag team from different parts of where you're trying to make your own niche or niche in wrestling, if you will, you guys come together. It's a little gimmicky. It's a lot of fun. It's this and that, but you take all of it and it makes the package of wrestling that gives us the fans, you the wrestlers, that fun times when you walk through the curtain, when you come out the gate and your music hits. We know exactly who it is. We know it's not going to be some other guy's music because you guys have done that for us and yourselves, because now you've established characters.
Yes.
I'd like for you to each talk about your characters and how you've meshed them together as you have.
You go first.
All right. Well, for me, my original character, I was the Sin City Saint, Radley Belmont, because, and a lot of people don't know this, I lived in Las Vegas for 16 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I saw many 420s out there, my friend, let me tell you. But
Every day.
every day felt like 420 sometimes. But when I lived there in the mid 2000s and the late 90s, there was not any wrestling out there, really. Very, very little wrestling. I think their state athletic commission had like a huge fee for wrestling shows. That's why there were no independent companies at all. But in 2009, I did a little bit of training for a company called Vegas Championship Wrestling, and that's what exploded my interest in independent wrestling. And took a couple more years before I moved out to the Northeast, which we're currently in New Jersey right now. And I still had that Sin City Saint character, you know, which is a part of me. I was practically bred in Las Vegas, you know, so it is a side of my life.
Were you a heel in that whole character?
Yeah, 100%.
Because it sounds heelish, and I can't see you getting booed at all. Please digress on your character if we could for a minute. It interests me how you kind of, we'll just say you were kind of developing as a heel, then you change over, and we see how you are now. How difficult is it to do that changeover from the bad guy or the heel getting over to, yeah, please.
One thing I want to say that's really funny is it's funny that you say you can't see him being a heel, because when he started, I remember our trainer saying, there's no way you could ever be a face. The fans will not be behind you as a good guy because you look like people want to boo you.
I had very short hair. I looked like a weatherman. I came out in blazers and like always acted like I was a sleazy gambler. I had spray tan, terrible spray tan, terrible every time. Oh, it was. I went to
was bad.
I went to the nines to give this image of some of the people I used to know in Vegas who really just ran themselves into debt and had all these problems, and they were just the sleaziest of the sleazy. They were movie characters come to life. So I tried to think of that as I was trying to play this character, because I remembered those people and I was around them, you know, so much. But as things, what's that?
You're taking things that kind of triggered you that you're seeing in Vegas, and you're like, the overdone spray tan. I'm just envisioning it. That sounds like a laugh and a half right there.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I mean, I definitely have my silly moments as a heel. You can play that up, you know, you're being fooled, everything like that. Oh yeah, we did tons of silly things, but it was at me as opposed to, you know, with the crowd. But yeah, it worked great for that heel persona, because I always saw those people as, you know, not the best type of people to be around. You know, they use you and that kind of thing. Didn't leave Vegas saying goodbye to any of those people. You know what I mean? So it worked great for that heel character. But that's not me. You know, I'm a completely different kind of person. I'm pretty much exactly like I am when you see me in matches. And yeah, and we got told all our lives, like, you're old souls, you know, you act like grandpas, you know, you're always whining about your backs and everything, you know, you watch old sitcoms. So we pretty much are the stepdads. You know, this is it right here.
I mean, it's funny. We both started about as far away from the stepdads as we could in pro.
Yeah.
My original gimmick was I was Kodiak Kruger. I was like this guy from Alaska. I came out in like a big trench coat. My whole thing is like, I'm a big guy, but I don't have a deep voice. Like, I'm not scary if I talk. So the only way I could do that character was to not talk, because it's not the way I sound. And if I do open my mouth, I'm more of the quick-witted, like, funny person. So, like, yeah, that doesn't fit that character. So I just had to go completely silent. And it just didn't fit my strengths. I mean, I enjoyed it. I liked the look. I had a crazy, like, I looked badass, but, like, it didn't translate. It was hard for me to connect with the crowd.
Right. Now, grabbing a mouthpiece, being a manager or a valet, if you will, or something like that, did you try to work with that, or you just kind of were doing it on your own?
Well, what kind of it kind of just worked itself out where I never got a chance to get that far.
Yeah, we never got that far.
I had about maybe 4 or 5 matches in that character, and then we started tagging other places. And the place where I did that character, we stopped working there, and then we only started working places where we were doing the Stepdads.
Yeah.
So it kind of just, instead of fixing it, it kind of just ended.
Yeah.
But that would have been the way to do it.
Yeah, it wasn't like a completely different character. Like we were aliens here and we weren't there. And we just changed the way we did things, you know? We still do a lot of the same moves and, you know, all sorts of stuff
Yeah,
like
you just
that.
changed the look. I went from being the Kodiak Bear to Papa Bear.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Now, I could see you because you have that bigger stature coming in with a trench coat, maybe the Terminator glasses and shit like that or whatever. I could see that. Man, and now that you paint the picture, I could. But in general, there ain't no effing way I could see Mr. Kruger, a bad guy. Again, you guys are flipping my mind right now. Now, trying to take that journey in these different characters, were you able to at least connect with the fans at all, being the heel or bad guy? Because they say that it's easier to play the villain, but sometimes the character itself isn't always easy to get over if you're a villain.
For me, it was tough because I was doing it at the same time that I was having my first matches. So I was so focused on not screwing up the moves and the match and forgetting things that it was hard for me to do all of it at once. I would neglect the crowd because I was too focused on the match. So going back, I think I could have made it work. But at the time, it was very difficult, and I wasn't put in a great position where I was working with guys. I mean, my second match, I was against a guy in his first match, so it was very hard to, like, I didn't have that guidance that I would have needed at the time to make it work, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because we talked a lot about that, because we, the fans, are trying to connect with you men and women through this whole Skype thing. That's the reason why I do it, so we can get a little bit more knowledge of maybe wrestling and the personas, the characters behind the characters and such. So that really intrigues me, the connection, if you hear us when you come out, because it takes a little bit of time to develop that tool, if you will, because there's many tools to become a wrestler. One of them being, if you don't hear us and don't work with us a little bit, it doesn't kind of bring you elevate your character, because like you said, Mr. Kruger, you're so, oh my God, a notification. I am such a freaking ass face. Oh my God. Let me turn back. I am so dumb. Really. I am not the brightest guy. But anywho, the connection between fan and character, it's hard to develop that. Mr. Baldwin, something easy for you, or was it something that you had to develop as well?
So I did, like I said, had a little extra training, and I even trained with a guy. I don't know if you're familiar with Johnny Cockstrong.
Sounds like a blast, but no, I'm not.
Yeah, let me tell you, if you like me, you would love Johnny Cockstrong, but not in that kind of way, in the wrestling sense.
Oh, yeah, no, not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not at all.
He's a superhero whose superpower is his penis.
Yes.
It's incredible.
Is it pre Joey Ryan or post Joey Ryan?
Fun fact about that: the two of them know each other, and if you ever meet Joey Ryan, just be like, I know you got this from Johnny Cockstrong, and he'd be like, yep, I absolutely did.
Yep. I was in fact in a car. I was riding with Joey Ryan and Johnny Cockstrong in the same car, and Joey Ryan said, and I quote, "I will give you all the credit in the world to anybody who asks, as long as I can keep the money."
Man, sounds like a lot of testosterone in that car going on. Holy cow!
Oh yeah, it was a wild time, let me tell you. But so I trained with him a little bit, and he's all about embracing the crowd and getting the crowd into every move he does, because almost every move involves a certain part of your body, and the crowd needs to really, they either love it or they don't. So he's very intuitive on what the crowd wants. So I already knew that's what I wanted to do as a pro wrestler. I wanted to grab the crowd. And when I'm in that kind of character where I'm kind of being a sleaze bag, I'm trying to win this match by any means necessary, I found that people were more intrigued when I was silly and when I was doing wacky stuff. And it just naturally, I'm just kind of a naturally wacky person. So I would just go into what I know best, and that's when the crowd connected. So I knew for me to advance as a wrestler, that was what I needed to cling on to, not the spray tans and that kind of stuff. You know, that was fine for a show or two, but I really wanted to embrace that wacky side. Not in a way that's like, oh, it's bad for wrestling or anything like that. You know what I mean? I just wanted to, but I would embrace that because, like, with someone like Big E, you know, Big E was a silent big dude for a while, and now he shows his personality, and it's so amazing. You know, not that I'm a Big E or anything, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. Because as I've talked to, I mean, you know, I've had the privilege and the honor of talking to so many of you talented men and women to give us an insight of what it's like, what it takes, the sacrifices. And there's one point that I really like to talk about is what we're saying, talking about character is kind of taking and finding yourself sometimes could be fun, sometimes could be a pain in the ass because now you have to try to figure out who am I, what do I want to be. You just got to sit back. Like I was talking to the very lovely, such an amazing smile, Nicole Matala. Oh my God. Such a beautiful spirit Nicole Matala is. But if you remember her before, she was a little gritty, little mean, didn't connect with the fans, right? So she had to kind of sit back, figure out who am I? What can I do with wrestling that I can associate myself with, that I can feel more comfortable bringing a character out? And when you men and women do that, we connect so much easier. And it's like that. It almost becomes like a natural thing. And then you sit back and you're like, why the hell did I not think about this 5, 6 years ago?
I'm a huge supporter of if you bring yourself out to the ring, and if you're just right next to the audience and you show you, they're going to feel how genuine that is. You know, it doesn't, no matter if you're a Rocket Man or you're just a wrestler in the ring, you know, with black tights and that's it. Yeah. Like they'll feel that genuine attitude.
I definitely think a lot of the best characters are just an extension of yourself taken to a higher volume.
Yeah.
It's one less thing to worry about when you're out there. Like you're already worried about the match and protecting your opponents. If you have to remember to be someone you're not, it's an extra step that can get lost. If you're just being you, it comes out naturally. It's a lot easier to connect. There's not an extra step, an extra layer between you and the audience. That layer is stripped down. It's just you and them, and it's a lot easier to connect because you're just being you.
Yeah.
That's perfectly said because yesterday I talked to Slick Wagner Brown. Love me some Slick Wagner Brown.
Right.
And if you know of Slick Wagner Brown, which I'm assuming you do, he's got the Test Strength Dojo in East Hartford. And my goodness, the characters that he develops, the way he, presents wrestling, he tries to give that whole package. You got the hard cam, getting TV ready for that next level, how to connect with the fans, getting your moveset right. But what I'm driving at is without your mindset, like you just said, Mr. Kruger, without having so much to bottle up what's up here, you need, some of us don't have that physical beauty. I only weigh like 35 pounds,
Well, yeah, right.
I mean, the Stepdads, maybe not the best physical specimen, but you have to have the attire, the physical, part of it, the cardio and all of that, the training, the moveset, again, the safety for yourself, your opponents, the referee, the fans, if you're in a very tight environment. There is a lot that has to happen up here. But if this thing gets tweaked up here, all of this, it kind of just gets to the wayside and you just kind of get like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
It's the difference of when something happens and you have to think, well, how would my character react? Rather than just reacting naturally in the way you would react.
Yep.
It's so much easier that way. Also, funny that you mentioned Test of Strength because we were actually supposed to be wrestling there this week coming up and before this all happened.
Yeah.
I know. I lost my shit because I follow every single Test of Strength event that there is. And when I saw that the Stepdads were coming, fuck yeah. And then the COVID. Oh God. Sometimes that goes over, sometimes it doesn't. But I seen you guys coming over and I was so excited because that's one of my home bases. Yep. So when all of this blows over, could we still be seeing the Stepdads at Test of Strength?
I hope so.
I really hope so.
It seemed like they wanted us to come out there. We wanted to be there. Yep. So as long as we could make it work, we're definitely down to come
Absolutely, yeah. Test of Strength is one of the goals we have to wrestle in 2020. We have a bunch of different promotions that we really wanted to get into, and Test of Strength is definitely one of them. Like, no doubt. So,
And now my
yeah.
goal is just to wrestle in 2020.
Yeah. Now, that's actually something that I dive into because of the position that we're at globally. When we do come back, you're mentioning Test of Strength, but you also said that we have some other promotions in our sites. If you could share with the fans, and don't use the 3-letter acronyms because some of us don't know all of these places, give us some places because then we can look them up and check them out if we've never heard them before.
Yep.
Where does the Stepdads have some sites on when we come back?
Well, a big one for us would be some of the local places in Jersey. We actually don't wrestle much in Jersey. We wrestle more in New York and Connecticut and Pennsylvania. It just has worked out that way.
Yeah, we just travel a lot.
So Pro Wrestling Magic down here in Jersey would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Pro Wrestling Magic is the show. We went to a Pro Wrestling Magic show, and when we left,
that was when we decided to do the Stepdads.
That's when we decided to do Stepdads.
As fans.
Really?
Yeah.
Shane Fair. He was my last interview last night. Love me some Shane Fair. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry to interrupt. Continue.
No.
Shane's one of our favorite fans. He drove out to Pennsylvania to watch us win our first titles.
Yeah.
What?
We had pictures with him and everything. It was fantastic. He
I love
filmed
Shane.
the match from the front row. It was great.
Love that guy.
He's great.
Another big one would be 01 USA. Been up in
Northeast.
Connecticut.
Northeast.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yes. USA Northeast.
USA Northeast.
Oh,
You're
we'll
right.
do USA as well.
Yeah,
Why
sure.
not?
A big goal is either as far as like further out goals, Fest Wrestling, which is down in Florida.
Yeah. Fun fact: we wrestled for the Fest Tag Team titles,
but not in their company.
But in Jersey, but it was for a different company, and they're in Florida. So.
So their champions came up our way, and you guys wrestled them
during WrestleMania week.
WrestleMania week, the Ugly Ducklings were the Fest champions. They came to New Jersey. We wrestled them, and they retained. So they got to go back to Florida, and we didn't. So
I can't breathe. Did you just say the Stepdads versus the Ugly Ducklings for gold, and I missed that shit?
It's
actually happened twice.
Last year at New York Championship Wrestling up in upstate New York in Utica, we had match of the year with the Ugly Ducklings.
We won the fan voted match of the year for 2019 with the Ugly Ducklings there.
Well, fans, boys and girls, take that ride with me. Let's go and check that shit out. That's New York Championship Wrestling, correct, guys? Go on to the YouTube, go on to the face page, look up New York Championship Wrestling. I know a lot of familiar faces out there. If you guys are saying that they've got matches on their stuff, so we'd be able to see that possibly.
They just uploaded our match with the Ugly Ducklings last weekend. Just last weekend.
We gotta go watch that. Yes.
And then another further out one for us specifically is a company called Black Label Pro.
Mm-hmm.
They're out in the Midwest. They do a lot of crazy fun. Like, it just seems like a fun place to be.
A lot of fun characters and a lot of exciting. I like exciting wrestling where they're just anything can happen anytime. I'll give you a great example. Hornswoggle is one half of their tag team champions. Just because he showed up one month.
Is Braun Strowman his tag team partner?
And they had like former MMA star Stephen Bonner just showed up to a show and wrestled on a show. So like they have all sorts of stuff out there.
Yeah, because he just made his debut in wrestling not too long ago. Stephen Bonner.
Yeah. Apparently he lives in the area or something, so he's been wrestling on and off there.
They're on independent TV. They're a good company to watch if you're looking for something to watch during this COVID-19 thing.
COVID! I got somebody to repeat it. Holy shit! You just made my 420. That's amazing. Hey, repeat that promotion name though. What was it called?
Black Label Pro.
Black Label Pro. I got it.
Yeah.
Stamped in my hand. I'm gonna check that shit out. And I hate to interrupt. I hate to interrupt, but you're talking about characters having a good time. I got a place for you guys to check out if you've never been there. Wrestle Party. It's run by Sully Banger. You're shaking your heads. What do you got? Give me some of that.
Well, we haven't been there yet, but we know a lot of people who've wrestled there.
We've heard a lot about it.
It just hasn't synced up for us yet to make it happen.
That's definitely on our list.
You guys would be an exact fit for that place. They have, Asana, the Suplex Sweetheart. She was dressed as a black cat while Buff Dad. Yeah,
we've tagged with Buff Dad before, and we've wrestled Dick Lane before.
Yep. All
So
sorts of,
yeah, we tagged with Buff Dad. We were the old age in-laws, the Datitude era.
the Datitude era.
Oh my God. I think I just broke a rib with that. That is hilarious, man. I can so see that. Buff Dad and you guys.
6-man tag matches
And
with him.
the last one we wrestled, it was us and Buff Dad versus Young, Dumb, and Broke.
Oh yeah.
The millennials versus the old men.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Man, you got to bring some of that shit around my area because that sounds like a blast.
Those ones were what? A chop shop?
Yeah, we went to the Chop Shop, the second one that's out there, for a company called Outside the Box, which is no longer running, but
yeah.
No, they had a nice little run. And when I was seeing the matches that were being built, that was more of like a fantasy kind of thing going on because
it was just a fun.
That was really
I was surprised we were on the show because there's just so many great names and stuff on there. And it was like, cool, now we're in. That's fantastic. I was having a blast. I really was. Yeah.
It's too bad, wrestling comes and wrestling goes. So when they open up and they debut, you got to get in there and have some fun because you never know what the hell is going to happen. It's wrestling,
Yep.
Oh, yeah. That's what happened with truly independent wrestling. When they finally started a tag team division, maybe 6 months in, we slid in and we got to be a part of the tournament, and we've been there ever since.
And then they lost their building. And then
then we're moving on to
anything could happen any time where a company comes and goes. It sucks. There's so many factors that play in.
Yeah.
Now, I'd like to speak on TIW because I have seen you guys out there many, many a time. They were going through a lot of transitions. Now, I'm going to take it from where they originally started, and they were in a church.
Yes.
Okay. Now they moved from a church that was like way too far for me to drive. All right, from where I was. So I would just watch, and I watched from the very birth of TIW. Okay.
Fantastic.
Then they moved into the mall.
Yeah,
seen that. I map it up, and it took me an hour and a half. I go, you know what? I'm good with an hour and a half. I'm gonna take the drive out there. I went by myself. There was a lot of 420 action on the route to that fucking show. Let me tell you,
I believe
because I get to a point, and this is like the spookiest shit. I get to a part, and it's getting darker. Okay, I get to a point of the drive where my GPS tells me to take a left for 5 miles. I am on a gravel road off of a major route, and it's telling me to drive. And I look at it, and it's called Frost Road. Don't tell Ryan Frost. Do not, because his fucking head will swell. So it tells me to get on Frost Road, and it's going to cut through the woods instead of taking me all the way around, okay? So I stop. I reroute my GPS, and I go, there ain't no fucking way I'm going down this road. I reroute, and I look at it, and it shows me right through the woods for 5 miles. I'm like, you know what? Let's grab the oil pen, turn it on high, hit that some bitch, and let's go through the gravel road for about 5 miles. It worked out. I stayed alive. I really thought I was going to get killed by a Kruger, no pun intended, or a Jason Voorhees. You never knew what the fuck was going to come at you. But man, point being is I got to the mall, and I get there, and there is a line because I'm like, hey, do you know where this wrestling is? I heard there's wrestling. I walk into the Berkshire Mall. Malls aren't that happening nowadays. So I'm figuring I can just find wrestling, but I couldn't find it. Somebody goes, it's got to be around here somewhere because nothing's really open. I go, all right. I walk around. I get to a corner, and there is a fucking line of people waiting for wrestling. And I go, oh, yeah, I should have bought a ticket first. They were only $10, right?
Yeah.
Stand in line. Get an announcement. About 5 people in front of us. Excuse me, I don't have the King COVID, I swear. 5 people in front of me. The guy comes out with a foghorn, leghorn megaphone there and breaks out with the fire marshal is only allowing 150 people in here. When we get to limit, we have to stop. Where do I get? 2 people right before to buy a ticket. The guy in front of me's got 3 kids. The lady comes out and says, we have to stop. We've reached limit. The kids start crying. Like, all 3 kids just start wailing. I love kids, but man, I was having a party inside. I go, this is exactly how I pictured it, me getting up here. But that, with the kids going ill and the whole thing, it just had a little element to me. I was kind of funny, haha, while they were crying. I'm probably going to go to hell for that. But anywho, they made an announcement that they're going to rip all of the paper off of the windows and we can watch outside in the mall. And I look at the guy with the 3 crying kids and I go, bro, I drove an hour and a half here. I am not standing in a mall like I'm standing in a fucking bird cage watching wrestling. I wish them the best of luck, but I'm not going to hang. And I turned around. I pulled out the pen. We went and made our way back down Frost Road and went back to Connecticut. So that was my first time of going to TIW. I know it's a little winded. I apologize.
Okay.
That sets me up for when we go back. What a fantastic time.
Uh-oh.
Oh, God.
Oh. Did we lose you?
Well, no. Somebody called me.
No.
It's got to be spam. I'd rather have it fried. I don't like just raw spam.
Frost heard you were talking about his road.
Yeah. So what? TIW, they've gone through a lot of transitions through my whole long-winded story. You've got the Paul Laporte. You've got the High Voltage Omar versus Paul Laporte. Oh, my God, that was a lot of fun. And when they dressed up as each other for Halloween, I lost my ever-loving shit. That was amazing. Then I want to take us to Mark Adam Haggerty comes and becomes a general manager. What the hell was going on in TIW at that time? You guys were in it. Could you please tell the fans after I can stop talking, take us on a journey of that Mark Haggerty from then on, because he got thrown in the toilet one time. Please take us up to that point.
Well, the first thing is our first trip to TIW, we also got lost. Do you remember that?
Yeah. We ended up outside like a ski resort or something.
Yeah. We were just stuck at like a dead end. It was like 2 forks in the road, and it was saying to go straight. And I was like, we can't do that. We'll crash.
Like it said we were there. We were like 15 minutes away.
Yeah. So I feel your pain with that. We had to figure that out over time. But luckily, with TIW, they did have a 300-person capacity at some point. That's why everyone was able to get in.
Yeah, they did up the capacity at one point.
Exactly, yeah. And so thank goodness they were able to do that, because I know that they hated turning people back. Mm-hmm. But you want to go from there?
Yeah, so, I mean, well, we started there. We came in for the tag tournament.
Yep.
And in our debut was the tag tournament was our debut. First match was not good.
And we were heels too. You think you can?
Yeah, we came in as heels.
Yeah.
So we came in as heels. We had our first match. We were heels, but we were still funny heels. So it kind of that was what ended up with it turned us eventually. Where over time, we were heels for the whole tournament. We waited to the finals. We lost, but it made us credible right off the bat to the fans.
And our philosophy was that we wanted to be heels towards the kids. Just the kids.
Yeah, we were only heels towards kids.
Yeah. So we would go up and we'd tell them, oh, is this your dad? You should listen to him. You know, he knows what's best. And I'd high-five their dad. Let me tell you, no kid will hate you more than if you high-five their dad and tell him that he's right.
So we were just heels to the kids. It got us, because they're louder than anybody. So it got us then we teamed up with Scotty Arrow for a bit. Scotty Arrow was probably the most hated guy there, so that got us the extra rub of being hated.
Remember the little girl with the high five?
Yeah, there was a little girl we didn't high five until we turned face like a year later.
Yeah, an entire year, 12 shows or around 12 shows. We come out, little girl would put her hand up, pass her by. And when we turned face, we came back out as a surprise. So we weren't there for a couple months. Came out as surprise challengers for the tag team titles. We win the match. The very first thing we do is we jump out of the ring and high five that little girl.
The other our face turn was kind of it wasn't even planned. It kind of just happened.
Yep.
We were in a match with my boys, the Main State Posse.
Yeah, love them.
We were wrestling them, and they are hated there because they talk about how great Maine is, and it's not Maine. So that kind of was our official, like, it wasn't told to go out there and you guys become the good guys and they become it just happened that way, where by the time that match was over against them, the crowd was behind us because they hated Maine State and they had started to like us more and more, and that was the official turning point. We became the good guys, the heroes.
We and more importantly the promoters decided that the fans got to choose. And that's good choice, in my opinion, in most cases.
Yeah, because what happens when you try to force it for forever?
Exactly.
Vince knows.
Right.
The funny thing with the Haggerty thing is I wish we were more involved with that because I felt like we were big good guys in the company, but we never really went against him because he didn't really have a tag team. Except like by the end it was
right at the end.
Yeah, Kyle with the good hair and Fox Vineyard.
The Fun Boys and
Oh yeah. Well, we knocked them out of TIW. We kicked them out. Of TIW.
We were pushing for a nice 5-on-5 War Games match.
Oh yeah.
Which we would have, the good guys would have finally got their hands on Haggerty in the cage. That would have been fun.
That would have been amazing. I've seen Mr. Haggerty, very consummate professional ring announcer.
Oh yeah, absolutely love him.
But he made his not his debut. I've talked to Mr. Haggerty on this show. What a character he is. But he was in Wrestler's Lab.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
They came out with their first show. They used to do small pre-shows, but they came out with their first big show in Ridgefield Park. My man got decapitated by Killian McMurphy.
His stepbrother. we have there's a running.
So all right. So here's the thing. Remember I told you I had a couple of tag teams before Wade here. One of my tag teams was me and Killian McMurphy because we looked pretty similar. With the exception of he has abs and I have a giant gut.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of the before and he's kind of the after. But we didn't have an official tag team name. But in the backstage, they would call us the Stepbrothers. So it was never officially on camera until this year.
We wrestled Killian and his tag partner, A.K. Willis.
Oh, we got another phone call? What's going on here?
We're just blazing over here.
Dude. I swear, somebody wants to feed me spam so bad. I don't know what the fuck.
So we wrestled Killian and his tag partner at NYCW, New York Championship Wrestling.
Yep.
And the whole opening was Mr. Belmont here and Killian doing
Killian's shirt on and
doing
everything.
mirror spots. And
just like we did as Stepkids.
He wouldn't hit him because it's his brother.
Yep.
So he takes him all the way to the corner and he's like, I can't hit him, and he tags me and I'm like, well, we're not related. And I punched him right in the face.
And I never hit him the entire match. I would never do that to my stepbrother. And we won the match and I left the ring with hugging my Killian shirt and I said, don't forget about your family, okay? It's all about family.
Did you ever tell him not to put his nuts on your drum kit?
No.
I remember Killian, you're burying me. You're burying me alive.
That's one of those cases of like a funny thing that in the back that comes out to the front. You know what I mean? Yeah. A funny joke between the guys in the back becomes a thing that actually happens in the ring.
Exactly. Yeah.
That is so crazy. Now, Mr. Haggerty, he got put in an outhouse.
Yes.
Were you at that show specifically? Because that was their last show before they had to take a hiatus, and it was outside.
Yeah, we actually
because it was a best of 3 between the Fun Boys and Team TIW. We were one of those matches. We beat Brad and Fox Vineyard and sent them back.
So that was the first match the Fun Boys won, Sweet Money Montgomery, and then we won the next match. So the final was the champ versus Tyler Vincent, Jimmy Limits versus Tyler Vincent.
Yep.
Jimmy Limits lost in like 30 seconds.
Tyler Vincent crushed him.
Tyler Vincent killed Jimmy Limits and then put Haggerty in the outhouse.
Yeah.
And we also, before that show started, we had the Stepdads and the fans of TIW versus the Fun Boys in a wiffle ball game outside.
We had a wiffle ball game before the show. It wasn't filmed or anything. And it was just us and the Fun Boys with all the kids and a couple of parents, and we had a full wiffle ball game.
Yeah. I was wearing my Todd Frazier Cincinnati Reds jersey because he's a Jersey boy, and the funny thing about that was I took a photo of me ripping a double, and I posted it on Twitter in my Frazier jersey, and I tagged him in it, and I was like ripping doubles all day, and he retweeted it, and he's like, all day, baby. And it was one of the funniest retweets I've ever gotten on Facebook from the Todd father himself. But the funny thing was, we even used the wiffle ball game to set up the later show because the game ended in a tie. When the game was tied, I beamed Haggerty. I was the pitcher. I beamed Haggerty with a pitch, and he stormed the mound, and we had a pull apart brawl.
Yeah, we had a big brawl. Everyone had to pull us apart. Haggerty's screaming bloody murder. We had to pull him away. Oh,
I could so see it.
show.
That was before the show even started.
That was just people coming before the show, like hanging out. We had that whole thing.
So much fun. It's one of those things that adds to the fan experience. It's so much more fun. Mm-hmm. It's like you're involved with the whole thing. It's like, I know if I was a kid and I went to a show and I got to play wiffle ball with the wrestlers, I'd be sold forever.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And we even had a show. It wasn't for XWA, but it was in the XWA Center in Rhode Island. And Mark Adam Haggerty was on commentary for that show. So we came out, and during commentary, just for our match, he was a heel against us. He was like, "Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Those guys ruined me and threw me in a toilet with all his friends, and I don't want to talk about it." And he wouldn't mention the company or anything. He just
really,
yeah, he just wanted to mention that at some point we had done him wrong.
And we love Mark. Mark's from our neck of the woods, so we see him pretty often.
That's fantastic.
Seeing Mark Adam Haggerty came up like a whiz, man. I mean, but he put in that work.
He's hardest working man out there.
Yeah. The social media. Now he's got his own little seminar thing going on, which is amazing, by the way. And it's only $20. So and it's all based on the social media marketing and such, and how to utilize it. Great tool, especially for the wrestlers, the men and women. But putting in the drives that Mark Adam Haggerty, that man, I can't even imagine if you took a top view of the map and just squiggled lines wherever that guy went. I mean, it's got to look like a big giant bowl of spaghetti.
You wouldn't even see the map anymore. It'd just be a bunch of red lines, like a little kid drawn over it.
It would. Now, an announcer, a referee, a manager, the wrestlers, they all make the package we call wrestling happen in one match, and all of the matches to make up the event. There's a lot of sacrifices made. There's a lot of bullshit that you have to deal with. There's still, just like anything in life, you have the politics, the drama. On top of, your body is fucking killing you because of said match or said maneuver.
My back sucks.
I'm great. My back hurts. My back hurts from carrying him.
Woo! That was a singer. But now, I like to talk support systems on this show, because without that, and it doesn't have to be your parents, it doesn't have to be siblings or whatever. It could be some of the men and women when you're on the road or in the locker room that really kind of give you that helping hand. I'd like for each of you to speak about who you have in your life and that has been in your life to help you go along with doing this thing called wrestling, because it's one of the hardest gigs in the universe to pull off.
Yeah, well, other than the obvious of each other, because that's a huge one. I mean, we're in the car all together. I mean, and we're roommates. So if we have ideas, one of us just runs upstairs. Yeah. So we're in a house. I'm on the main level. Rad has the basement. And if we have ideas, we just run upstairs or downstairs, talk about stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the big one. That's the plus of a tag team, is having that built in. But if you want to start.
Yeah. And like for us, we have the added benefit of we did that little backyard wrestling stint for a while, and we met a lot of people. And when the people we were around were very passionate. They were super passionate about wrestling. Like they wanted to be on TV one day, that kind of thing. But they were just too young. They couldn't get trained yet, that kind of thing. So those type of people, a good example of that is Damon Ravage, who is the brother of the truly independent wrestling promoter, CJ Scott. So we already knew him. And when he told us, I have a promotion going on, you should, talk to my brother and that kind of thing. And believe me, there was no special treatment for us. Let me tell you. If anything, it was worse because he's one of your friends. I don't want him in the company. Like it was like that kind of thing.
But yeah, the backyard wrestling thing in general, we know so many guys who we used to backyard with who've since gone pro.
Yeah.
That almost any locker room we walk into, even if it's a new locker room, we know somebody there.
Yes.
Whether it be Mike Skyros or.
Yeah, we never backyard wrestled Mike Skyros. I knew him on wrestling forums in 2008.
Yeah.
So we go back that far.
New Jersey guy, Rick Cross. If you're going to the Midwest, Alex Zane. We've known Alex Zane for forever.
Alex Zane's phenomenal. If you've never seen him, please look up an Alex Zane video. Yes.
A lot of the guys here locally, like the guys at Pizza Party Wrestling here in Jersey, we know a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
So like anywhere we go, we pretty much have someone we know.
Wait, there's a place called Pizza Party Wrestling?
Yes.
So get this.
Shut the fuck up. Let me get a pen. I gotta write this shit down.
So here's the idea behind Pizza Party Wrestling.
First of all, I gotta tell him one thing. We will wait till he gets back.
Pizza Party Wrestling? Are you fucking kidding me?
That was actually where we wrestled the Ugly Ducklings.
Yes, that's where we wrestled the Ugly Ducklings for the first time. Was at Pizza Party?
I gotta look it up. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I lost my shit.
So go back like a decade. I get a Facebook message from a kid who goes, "Hey, I live in the area. Can I come to your little backyard show?" I'm like, "Yeah, well, sure. Come on over. You know, we're just kids." So he comes over, he sees it, and he's like, "Oh, this is so cool. I want to be a part of this one day." And I was like, "Oh, you want to wrestle? We can wrestle." He's like, No. I just want to like
manage.
I want to manage." He's like, "I want to be a manager." That was like his spark to wrestling. That's what he told me, at least. He was probably a big wrestling fan before that. That guy is now the promoter and owner of Pizza Party Wrestling, and his whole idea is you come to the show, you pay ahead of time, obviously, free pizza, right?
You get, I think, a slice or two slices of free pizza.
Yeah.
His whole mindset is everybody likes pizza.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But not everybody likes wrestling. So if you get them in with the pizza, maybe they'll find something they like in the wrestling.
Exactly.
You don't know you like it until you see it. It draws you in. Yeah, even at the worst that happens is you eat pizza.
Yeah.
even if you get the show.
Yeah.
So we were on their WrestleMania week, and
man,
a lot of those guys are
behind that is amazing.
That
is
great.
just amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just flipped my shit. I'm so sorry.
That's fine. That's great.
The backyard wrestling guys that we know is definitely a big support system. Like if we were ever stranded somewhere, I think we'd be within an hour and a half of someone we know where we could like call in a favor, which is usually helpful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And these are, like I said, like when I lived in Las Vegas, I would literally fly out to backyard wrestling shows all over the country. Chicago, New York, Pennsylvania, all over the place. Indiana, yeah. And I would stay at their houses. There was no money exchange. It was like hanging out with the bros. You stay there for a couple days, hang out, have a good time. There was some wrestling. Some of it was pretty good.
I flew out to London to backyard wrestle.
He flew out to London.
I made our backyard belt a world title legitimately.
Oh my god.
And it was just because we all knew each other through a forum. Because back in the day, that was the big way to talk was through internet forums before Facebook.
Yeah.
So we all knew each other through that. We'd share footage and we'd be like, "Hey, you guys are in Pittsburgh. We're in here. Yeah. We're in upstate New York. Let's have a show somewhere and all hang out."
A couple of those UK guys then flew out here. I wrestled one of them when they were here.
I mean, Will Ospreay was one of them.
Yeah, yeah.
so
really.
Oh yeah. So like and. Make no mistake about it, none of them are backyarders anymore. This is a while ago. But we connected with them so much. Like they're really our brothers, our friends, our pals. I would help any of them anytime. And I genuinely feel the same way because I met him through that.
Yep.
And now we're roommates. Like it just happened, And
then outside of wrestling, I mean, for me, my dad's a big support. He always, even when I was backyarding, my dad would always, if I was going to a show, I'd always text him and be like, "Hey, I'm going to a show." And his last words were always, "Have fun, don't get hurt." And still to this day, anytime I'm going to a show, he'll text me and say, "Have fun, don't get hurt." So, and he's come out he's driven hours to come to shows. Not that he comes to every show, but if he can, he's come out to Pennsylvania to see us win the titles. And he's come out to shows down, he lives like 45 minutes away. He's come to shows down here. So that's helpful. My girlfriend doesn't care. She's not against it, but she's not. That is a big support. It's because some people, it's like, for her to just say whatever, have fun with it, even if she's not into it, is big because it's like every weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So it's a support system to have that there, of like, hey, I'm not going to get mad that you're doing this.
Yeah, you want to get rid of that negative feedback. All that bad stuff. People will tell you no. I had that when I was in Vegas. They said I was crazy. I shouldn't try pro wrestling at all. I love pro wrestling. I'm so glad I took that dive. And I flew, and I didn't originally live with him when I flew out to the Northeast. I just had whatever was in my car, and I just moved out, and I was trying to find a place, But so I don't regret it at all.
So curious. You're in Las Vegas. You're kind of trying to get your oats about you a little bit in wrestling. You move all the way to the Northeast. Now, on this show, we talk about how Northeast is a hotbed for wrestling.
Yeah.
Is that why you came this way, or why did you come,
It was a hotbed for backyard wrestling, too.
Yeah, exactly. I went where the wrestling was, and luckily all my friends were into wrestling, so it worked out great.
And he did have some, we did meet before he moved out here.
Yeah,
I've been to Vegas on vacation a few times, and we would meet up when I was out there. Like, the first time we met, we'd only known each other through online.
Mm-hmm.
But, I was like, hey, we'll go hang out for a day. Show me around Vegas. Show me, the local Vegas.
Yeah.
So
you showed me all those pictures that you took for Jersey All Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, I was into wrestling even before I was a wrestler. I used to do photography for Jersey All Pro Wrestling back in the day.
Oh, okay.
So that's how I'm familiar with Slick Wagner Brown, because he used to be in Jersey All Pro all the time. He was their champion at one point.
Yep, there you go.
Right.
So I did that. So I knew a lot about wrestling through that, and then that was actually I got into backyard wrestling because the guys I used to sit at front row with Jersey All Pro shows with before I even started doing photography started wrestling, and then we went to their yard, and the whole bunch of us bought a ring and put a ring in the backyard, and we were doing shows, and it's a whole big wheel of
craziness.
Gathered moss and went downhill.
Yeah.
So
nowadays we wrestle all those people all the time, regardless. Like you said, there's guys in all the locker rooms, so. We're not every single show, but a lot of the times we'll go into and they'll be like, "Oh, you're wrestling these guys tonight," and it's like fantastic. Little do they know we've wrestled them like 8 times already. Yeah, younger, so this is gonna be great.
Now, the Stepdads together as a collective unit look like they are having some of the best times of their life right now in wrestling.
Oh,
I haven't been in the game very long. Maybe 2016, I really dove into indie wrestling and kind of started doing my thing. But now, seeing you guys and how much fun you're having, the way you talk about wrestling, very avid wrestling fans still to this day, no matter how long you've been in the game. Where does the Stepdads go from here? Do you guys have you know what? We're looking to get to that plateau. Everybody's not really looking to get to that platform of the big leagues, if you will, you know, the WWEs and the AEWs now and stuff like that. So are the Stepdads, are you comfortable in the indie scene, or are you really looking to kind of progress and get on that bigger stage?
I mean, I'd say based on the fact that I have the same gut that I've had since I started 3 years ago, I'd say I'm definitely not trying to impress Vince any.
What do you mean, pal?
Honestly, we've already gone so much further than either of us ever thought we were going to go. So everything else from here is gravy. We hit a point where now we're just trying to continue to go up. It's been about 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
We've done more than we thought we would at this point, and now we've kind of hit a bit of a plateau, and we're just trying to take that next step, whatever that might be.
Yeah. We want to take a next step. I'm not sure what that would be.
I'm not sure where that's going to take us, but that's what we just want to keep learning and keep getting better.
Yes.
And if that takes us to the next level, if that takes us to being even known on the internet, I'm okay with that. It's just I'm having fun. This isn't my job. It's my at best side job, at worst hobby. It's just it's a thing we did because we enjoyed doing it at first.
And the reason we went pro is because we wanted to keep enjoying it. And the reason we were the Stepdads because we didn't feel like we were connecting, we weren't enjoying it. You know?
Yeah. So for us, it's just about having a good time, seeing people we like. I mean, we're not. It looks like we're not serious wrestlers, and I guess we're not the most serious guys in the ring, but we take our wrestling very seriously.
Yes.
Well, it shows because again, you have to watch out for your own well-being, your opponent's well-being, the referee, the ring announcer at times, the fans, again, at times, all depending on the close proximity. So it's not like you guys are slouches in the ring. And I know we talk a lot about your comedy portion of the program. And we have to remember that getting in the ring, no matter if you guys started in the backyard kind of position or not, that does not matter. You've trained, you've taken it seriously. And as Mr. Baldwin said, you've turned pro and you've taken it that serious to where, all right, now we are not effing around. We're going to get it together. We're going to train hard. We're going to make it and do it correctly because there's a lot of guys that I see that want to do it, that want to just jump in and try to get it done.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter what you do in wrestling. It could be a wrestler, ring announcer, referee. You cannot just get in there. I don't care who you are, what you think you can do on your outside. Being a ring announcer, you can't walk in there and call off weights and heights and a hometown or whatever and think you can pull it off.
Yep.
All sorts of willy-nilly. It takes some finesse. It takes polish. It takes practice. It takes studying.
You can tell when someone is like out of their element and in the deep end before they're ready for it. It shows. That's our next step is we want to kind of feel a little bit uneasy again. It's like we kind of feel like we're comfortable right now.
Hold on.
Yeah, good. Take your time.
Here we go.
All right. So what we were trying to say was, recently we've been wrestling a lot of really awesome teams. Like I don't know if you ever heard of Insanely Rude.
Of course.
Yeah, fantastic team, right? We wrestled a couple of teams like that, but we've also wrestled.
Those are guys that really push us.
Yes, and
like
we really enjoy that.
But we've also been wrestling because we've been wrestling the same few places a lot. We've kind of become the veterans of those locker rooms. So we've been wrestling a lot of the newer guys, and that's good. We like helping guys through their matches and giving them good matches, but we want to feel like we're learning again, and we're in guys that are better than us because it pushes us to get better and learn when we're in there with guys who are better than us.
That's why we want to go to these promotions like a Limitless or a 0-1 or something like that, because they have all this established talent. We walk in, we're the rookies again. And then we can absorb all the information again, which is so much fun.
Like if we could build up a following in Test of Strength and wrestle Jay Freddy and Slick Wagner Brown, that would be like a huge learning experience for us. You know what I mean? That would be such a big learning experience. So we want to get those. We want to feel uncomfortable again. Because right now it's like comfort's good, but like you got to keep pushing or else you just stagnate.
Yeah, we want to be that guy that's in the same promotion for 8 years straight, and he's a 15-time champion and all that kind of thing.
Right, and in wrestling, it's very easy, and I do mean so easy to get lost in the shuffle. Yeah. Once you get lost in the shuffle, you kind of fade away a little bit. The fans, they don't forget you, but they don't actually remember you all the time because now we're seeing a little different pizzazz from somebody else, or a character has evolved into something different. Now our interest is in this character a little bit more than per se the Stepdads, where they've kind of done,
we maybe for a little bit fall into a routine, and it's like we're doing the same stuff, and it's like we're not growing.
Yeah, and because we've had times in the past where we've been in promotions and we were like, hey, give us a few months off. Just because we're getting stagnant and we're doing the same routine all the time, and then we come back and we're a little tougher, a little meaner, or that kind of thing.
And in going other places, we've learned new tricks, new moves, new combos, new ways to put a match together.
Oh yeah.
And you come back and you have that, and it's an extra trick in your bag, because wrestling is really all about how many people you wrestle. Experience is in the people you wrestle rather than how long you've been around.
Yeah, you can wrestle every weekend, but if it's the same 20 guys your entire career, how much did you really learn? How much of a veteran are you, We wrestle in all those different states I mentioned earlier, all these different promotions, nowhere in New Jersey, but pretty much everywhere else. And we're wrestling teams like the Ducks and Maine State and stuff like that because we want to be challenged not just by great talent, which they are, but great talent from all over the place who are trained by different people. Yeah, it helps build our experience.
And because of the way we look, and because of the reputation of the gimmick as us being comedy guys, we have to work extra hard to impress because people think, oh, these guys are just goofy, out of shape, funny guys. If they haven't seen us, they don't know that we can actually, what we can do.
Yeah, let me tell you, I do a kip up in almost every other match, or I do a flip onto my feet or something, and every time I get a whoa, and it's like I do this every other week, and nobody believes me. In the match with the Ducks on New York Championship Wrestling's YouTube channel, I do the worm. I do the whole worm and jump right back onto my feet, and everyone goes nuts. And it's like I do this all the time in my free time, man. But they see the dad bod and they go, oh, he's not doing that.
That's like for me, occasionally I like to bust out because I'm a big guy. I'm not usually taking crazy moves, but every once in a while I'll like to bump, like I'll let somebody German suplex me, or I'll take some crazy dumb thing, or at New York Championship Wrestling, I took a double suplex on the floor.
Almost got the show shut down.
Yeah, almost got the show shut down. The athletic commission almost shut us down for that one.
Tell them that story.
So yeah, we're
wrestling Skyros.
We're wrestling Skyros and Dirty Kevin.
Yep.
And there's a spot where I go for a dive to the outside.
I'm clapping for him. We're getting him going.
As I go for the dive, they hit me as I'm going through, but it doesn't stop me. I just roll through the ropes and land back on my feet. And I just keep walking towards them like I'm the Terminator.
Oh, shit.
And then I go to double like clothesline them, and they grab me and double suplex me on the hardwood basketball floor. And the commissioner after the show was like, I was the guy who's 350 pounds is the guy who took the dumb bump that almost got the show shut down.
The best part is, so the commission representative is there. He sees it. He's right next to the promoter. And he looks right at the promoter, and the promoter does the exact same thing I would have done, or anybody that knows him would have done. He goes, he does this all the time. What's wrong?
He likes taking that bump.
He likes doing that. So we're the reason that after that show, New York Championship Wrestling had padding on the ground for every single show.
Yep.
But it was bound to happen eventually.
Man, you guys are exactly as much fun as I totally expected. And I've really never met you guys in person. I've only seen you perform. I think we might have said hi a couple times at maybe a couple shows.
Maybe, yeah.
So this one, I'm like, I know I'm going to have fun. Where I'm going to go with it, I'm not sure, because I don't research anything.
Yeah.
I don't like to write anything down. I like to kind of do it raw and organically. So I kind of didn't know where it was going to go. And you guys, I try to envision each interview before I start it. And you guys took us on the exact ride that I was expecting from both of you, man. This was absolutely amazing. I can't thank you enough for spending the time opening up, sharing some really cool stories. And we didn't even get to touch the surface. I already know that for a fact. So what I'm asking, maybe we can do a follow-up in the near future after this ship blows over. We kind of get back in the swing of things. I would love to talk to the Love Dads. Oh my God. I would love to talk to the Stepdads again.
The Love Dads.
I don't even know where the fuck that came out of.
That's what we have the trio. That's what we team up with McFoley.
Oh man, you guys have been.
So our dream tag partner is Buff Bagwell, so we could be the Buff Daddies.
That's right.
Well, there's Buff Dad. Hey, you know what? I can't even imagine how much fun you guys had with Buff Dad. That dude is just
the cheese story.
Yeah,
I
don't know if you remember a while back there was an internet phenomenon going on where like people were just taking a slice of cheese and like throwing it on a cat or a baby.
Yeah, Mike Skyros is part of that bullshit. We had a lot of problems with that.
In a match with some of the guys from House of Bricks, a couple of the young guys that wrestled there out in Massachusetts, we did a spot where we all three of us went for a test of strength with one of them. And when they grabbed our hand with this hand, in the other hand we had a slice of cheese, and we fucking hit him in the face with a slice of cheese.
And that's how we started. That was how
the match opened. Cheese to the face.
Oh my God. I must have effed Mr. Skyros up and down for about 5 months for that. Oh my God.
We do that all the time. Fuck Mike Skyros. He's a coward.
Yeah,
we did it to a baby. It kind of like or a kid or something or one
He's
time.
a goddamn coward.
Let me tell you something. We have a documentary series on our YouTube channel called The Dattitude Era. And in almost every episode, Mike Skyros just happens to be at the shows we're at. He never goes out with us to dinner, and we always point that out in our documentaries. We have everyone talk garbage about them at the dinners, and then we show him these videos.
Yeah, we leave a seat open at dinner where he should have been.
Yes, and like memoriam. And even when the one time he came with us to dinner, we still berated him the entire time because he wasn't sitting at our table. He was sitting at a different table, like he was king shit or something.
He got there before us, and they got a table that wasn't big enough for all of us. So by the time we got there, we had to sit at our own table.
Yeah.
Fucking Mike Skyros.
So Mike Skyros, you're dead to me.
He's a coward.
And we almost beat him for the 24/7 title as well.
That was hilarious. Oh my God. That is some fun. I can't wait to see where the hell that 24/7 championship story goes because
it's going to go around my waist is where it's going to go.
I don't know what to do. I hit him with the most devastating go to sleep I've ever seen.
I don't know how he survived. That should have been a broken retina or something.
He was asleep and I hit him with a go to sleep. How do you kick out of that?
I seen that. I had Mike Skyros on the show. I even talked to him about that, how he got pinned or something when he was sleeping. He goes, I don't know what you're talking about, Kincaid. So
yeah, sure,
I'm glad you brought that up. You just gave us some proof. The fans, did you hear that? He just gave us some proof right there.
Yeah. And I went after him. Unfortunately, there was a really long hallway, so I was exhausted by the time I got there. But I demanded a rematch, and he just walked away. So he's a coward. He He won't give me my fair shot.
He's a.
Well, ending this interview with F. Skyrose, he's a coward. Skyrose is a piece of shit.
Right.
I love all of that. That's amazing.
Let me tell you, we'll come to Immortal Championship Wrestling if we have to. That's another company we'll go to. We'll pin him right in the middle. We'll both pin him in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
How's he going to pin us both back? Not going to happen.
I would love to see that, please. When you pin him, tell him it's for Kincaid. He'll fucking hate you for that.
Written into his ear.
As I pin him, I'll lean in and I'll go, "This is for Kincaid," and also Moon Knight is a terrible Marvel superhero.
Oh my God! Talk about lava heat. He's gonna hate you for life. Holy shit!
Yeah, no, I can't even say. Hold on, I can't even say that.
Hold on, yeah.
Because literally right here behind the camera, I have a signed copy of Moon Knight #1. So
you know what?
He's jealous.
You can drop my name. He'll hate it just as much. Believe me. Woo, that's gonna be a blast. I can't wait till that happens. You guys have been freaking amazing, and I can't thank you enough for spending the time talking to us, giving us some cool shit. I really appreciate it, guys.
We had to reschedule, but my tub was exploding.
Yeah.
So,
oh my goodness, that was terrifying. Right before the interview, the tub wouldn't turn off.
Hey, that's okay, because now that we rescheduled, we had an effing blast today, man. This was awesome.
I even shaved. Can't you tell?
I should have. I really should have. I feel like an ass because look at that beautiful WCW shirt. I should have shaved just for that alone.
Right there. That's my passion right there. Nothing says wrestling to me than WCW Nitro. Let me tell you, he doesn't understand. WCW Nitro is the greatest. The greatest.
The first hour of Nitro was great.
No, it's all great. I want to see that broke down Hogan match. I want to see the 2 moves he does in 10 minutes. I want to see it.
Unless it's Piper escaping from Alcatraz, it doesn't matter.
You guys have been fucking awesome. This is Stirring the Pot with Don Kincaid, and I sure hope there's a follow-up very, very soon.
I hope so too.
With Don Kincaid and the Stepdads, my very special guest. Thank you so much, and stay safe. Wash your hands, wash your ass. But reverse the order, please.
Perfect.
WCW.